I disagree with that as somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Not here, but, other places.
Venezuela is due for a regime change. Certainly that's what Anthony Blinken bloody idiot more like, seems to think. Let's have a look at his veiled diplomatic threats. I bet if Anthony Blinken was threatening you as a neighbour, it would be, well, you better return the lawnmower because the eyes of the world are on you.
If my colleagues will indulge me for just 1 minute, I want to speak quickly to the elections that just took place in Venezuela. We applaud the Venezuelan people for their participation in the July 28th presidential election. We commend their courage and commitment to democracy in the face of repression and in the face of adversity. We've seen the announcement just a short while ago by the Venezuelan Electoral Commission. We have serious concerns that the result announced does not reflect the will or the votes of the Venezuelan people. It's critical that every vote be counted fairly and transparently, that election officials immediately share information with the opposition and independent observers without delay, and that the electoral authorities publish the detailed tabulation of votes. The international community is watching this very closely and will respond accordingly.
Quick question. What the f***'s it got to do with you? Are you Venezuelan? Are you from Venezuela? Right, why don't you f*** off then? Why don't you f*** off then? Here's confirmation that the exit polls were conducted by CIA carve-out. I myself, even little old me, have fallen prey to this kind of thing. Like when, what was it? There was a CIA carve-out that coated me off. Oh yeah, it's a bunch of like Ukrainian media, like, but it was meant to be like Vox, like young people, Ukrainian media, like, hey, these people are Russian misinformation peddlers. And when you look at who funds that media organization, CIA carve-out. For like the same way when it comes to the PhD of Serge Brin and Larry Page, the founders of Google, CIA carve-out. CIA carve-outs is a phrase you might want to memorize. WikiLeaks confirms that the exit poll for the Venezuelan election was conducted by a firm backed by the CIA or a CIA carve-out. Venezuela's right-wing opposition and US media outlets claim there was fraud in the July 28 election based on an exit poll done by US government-linked firm Edison Research, which works with CIA-linked US state propaganda organs and was active in Ukraine, Georgia and Iraq. Got new revolutions coming to a country near you. And even like an insider, former insider like John Bolton, who, to look at him, you'd think he was the world's friendliest fried chicken peddler. He's just such a lovely old uncle on a stoop in a rocking chair. Back in my day, we used to drink sipping whiskey. Looks so friendly. Every time he crops up on CNN or MSNBC, he's always justifying some new war. Here in this chat with Jake Tapper, casually cops to the idea that he's been involved in coups. Sort of sounds like a coup in Venezuela previously. Quickly goes, not coups in this country, not coups in this country. Have a look at this.
I don't know that I agree with you, to be fair, with all due respect. One doesn't have to be brilliant to attempt a coup.
I disagree with that as somebody who has helped plan coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Not here, but, other places.
Just say that as if like that's allowed. I've been involved in planning coup d'etats. You aren't meant to do coup d'etats. Don't say doing coup d'etats like they're barbecues. Coup d'etats, they're not allowed. Let people run their own countries.
It takes a lot of work, and that's not what he did.
When we were talking about what is capable, what you need to do to be able to plan a coup, and you cited your expertise having planned coups.
I'm not going to get into the specifics, but...
Why not? Why not get into the specifics, by the way? Who paid your salary when you were doing that stuff? Was it the American taxpayer? Right. Well, get on and tell us what coup d'etats you were involved in. The whole dynamic is increasingly being exposed. You, stroke we, are children, and they are able to freely dominate us by sort of claiming they're protecting us. Parentheses, parentalism, the idea that we're being protected from a reality that we're incapable of dealing with. Well, I want to deal with it.
Successful coups?
Well, I wrote about Venezuela in the book, and it turned out not to be successful. Not that we had all that much to do with it, but I saw what it took for an opposition to try and overturn an illegally elected president.
That's what the CIA is, isn't it? The CIA is the kind of henchmen, gangsters of state interests. And when you see those guys, like when they're out of office, admitting to the stuff they did while they were in CIA power, while they were suited and booted, it's pretty extraordinary. Have a look at this dude, like talking about his former engagements.
In the CIA, we didn't give a hoot about democracy. I mean, it was fine if a government was elected and would cooperate with us, but if it didn't, then democracy didn't mean a thing to us.
Do you reckon that's changed? Of course it hasn't changed. In fact, look.
And I don't think it means a thing today.
We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Hey, this is exciting. We've got a great partner today. It's Rumble. But beyond Rumble is Rumble's latest venture. Let me ask you first, are you a Sleepy Joe type character with zero cognitive performance, struggling to muster focus and brain power for basic things like running the United States of America? You've got to stop drinking woke liberal coffee that hates you and your way of life and start your day by drinking Rumble's very own 1775 coffee. This is going to be the best tasting coffee you've ever had. Seriously good, ethically sourced from a family farm in the high altitude mountains of Bolivia. Not in the Bolivian lowlands, run not by a family, but by a single man, still living with a pet. No! Instead of waking up and drinking your big corporation-owned woke ideology coffee that's probably making you sick from the pesticides it's sprayed with, try Rumble's 1775 revolutionary coffee. Support freedom of speech. Build a parallel economy that actually values you and loves you. My favourite? It's dark, of course. I've always found the lure of the dark irresistible. I'm sorry, how can I stay mad at you? But you're just going to have to wait over there for a little while. Level up your morning routine with a 1775 coffee. Sleep all night knowing your hard-earned dollary dues are going towards supporting freedom-loving creators like me on Rumble. Visit 1775coffee.com now. Pick up your first bag. Use the code BRAND to save 10% on your first order. Oh, come on. Why choose, you know? Okay, back to the content. And listen to this. This is John Pilger, who was like a journalist of the left, war correspondent, super kind of credible guy with incredible integrity. I think Australian, worked out of our country, the UK, a lot, talking to the very angry Dwayne Claridge, head of the CIA Latin American division, just sort of saying, we've got every right to do as many coups as we want. Actually sort of outraged that anybody would even question their right to do that.
Have you, when I mean you, the CIA, the United States government, or any foreign power, what right do you have to do what you do in other countries?
National security interests.
But that's a divine right, isn't it? Because the people that you do it to have no say in it.
Yeah, well, that's just tough. We are going to protect ourselves, and we're going to go on protecting ourselves because we end up protecting all of you. And let's not forget that.
Right. Right? No, I won't.
We'll intervene whenever we decide it's in our national security interest to intervene. And if you don't like it, lump it. Get used to it, world. We're not going to put up with nonsense. And if our interests are threatened, we're going to do it. Chile, the only reason it exists is because of Pinochet.
At a huge human price.
What human price? Give me a break.
The thousands who were disappeared and murdered?
Thousands? You count them. What thousands?
Well,
and
I've seen...
talk to me about truth commissions.
I've seen their names in the cemetery in Santiago.
Yeah,
you're saying their faces.
There aren't thousands.
Well...
There aren't thousands, sir.
It was a period in which almost everybody in the present situation regards as a dark time, in which the CIA played a major role.
That's right. They played a major role in overthrowing, what's his name?
What's his name was Salvador Allende.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
He was democratically elected.
Right. Okay.
Is that okay to overthrow a democratically elected government? Is it okay?
It depends on what your national security interests are.
Are you denying that Pinochet caused huge suffering in that country?
I don't buy. That he committed crimes, I agree.
Mm-hmm. But it's worth it.
Huh?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
those crimes are worth it?
Yeah. Sometimes, unfortunately, things have to be changed in a rather ugly way.
So angry about everything, staggering and extraordinary. But the Venezuelan government are onto the deal. Have a look at Maduro, still the leader of Venezuela. I can't even tell how the corruption works anymore, but is he supposed to be in government? Is he not meant to be in government? Will he be allowed to stay in government if he's willing to form the correct partnerships when it comes to oil? I don't know, but certainly the CIA know. And he's well onto the fact that in America, it's commonplace, not commonplace, but at least customary, to occasionally kill a president if they don't play ball. Here is Maduro talking about that, sort of plainly, albeit in Spanish.
Ellos ponen una sonrisa de frente en su diplomacia por engaño, pero por detrás tienen el puñal. Y si les crees a su sonrisa, te descuidas, te volteas, te apuñalean. Así ellos han actuado casi 200 años, asesinando presidentes, asesinando líderes en el mundo, asesinando presidentes en Estados Unidos. John F. Kennedy. ¿Quién lo mató? El sistema. Comprobado. Crearon lo que hoy se conoce un falso positivo, con un tal señor de apellido Oswald. Eso es conocido. Bien denunciado en un documental película llamada JFK. Bastante.
That's not a documentary. That was an Oliver Stone film. It had Kevin Costner in it. That's not a documentary. It's a very good documentary. Joe Pesci, he was wearing that wig in one bit. Then John Candy came along, playing that jive-talking prosecutor guy. Okay, daddy-o. Extraordinary, isn't it? This, again, is how independent media has the march on the mainstream, because they can put together their narratives, which we know are false. We can put together our narratives, which may be correct, may be incorrect, and certainly are constructed with a degree of inquisitiveness and open-heartedness, i.e. you're not given this information resolutely as if it is an irrefutable fact. It's presented to you like, I don't know, man, what do you think? Here's the current leader of Venezuela talking, and here's some CIA officials talking. Why don't you work out for yourself what you think? And that's what the censorial forces of the establishment oppose above all else. Your ability to choose, discern, and decide for yourself what is true. Because, as we touched on earlier, they regard you really as great, hairy, incapable, and inept children that need to be governed and controlled. And they'll find various ways to do that while pursuing a global agenda that appears to be set to take us to the very edge of World War III and perhaps even beyond it, at the behest not of democracy, the thing that they're always claiming to be protecting, but because of the CIA. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.